right, friends and lovers alike, we are back. This is Of Stone and Clay podcast, episode 153. Today we have just the sweetest guest, Olivia Burnett.
That's a nice way to describe me.
Yeah.
Sweetest. I don't think I've ever gotten that,
I
actually.
think you're, I mean, I don't know all the people. I don't know all the sweet people. And I try to shy away from superlatives, but there's a sweetness to you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Very kind. I think some would disagree, but I appreciate
Really?
it.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll talk
probably.
about them after the show. Olivia is a friend of mine. I've kind of known for a while, but have known better more recently. Is that a good descriptor, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very eloquent.
Yeah. Olivia has her own podcast called the 20-something podcast.
Yes, sir.
Which you just started.
Brand new baby. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the show and the impetus for it and why you started.
That's a good question. Yeah. I think that I hear all the time, like, man, my life doesn't look like what I thought it would at insert whatever age you want. And I felt like I was hearing a lot of the same questions from my friends and people I knew. I was asking a lot of the same questions. And I think I realized, like, I remember one night talking to my family and my older brother, and I just made this comment of like, man, we are all out here just struggling with the same things, and we all think we are the only ones, which sounds like a cliche, but I think it's this weird universal, like, lonely feeling. Anyways, so it's just all about navigating your 20s and 30s and everything from like mental health to like daily habits and stuff like that. And just, I think my overall goal with it is to build like this community of camaraderie, that it's okay that your life doesn't look like what you thought it would at whatever. And it's actually a good thing.
Yeah.
So
did you have this idea kind of percolating in you for a while, or?
Yeah, I love like podcasts. I have been a viewer of yours for many years. And I don't know, it just always, like, I had the idea to do something, but it never felt quite right.
Yeah.
And then
It never does.
Yeah. And then that's true. It never does. And I tried to do some other things here and there, and we released a couple episodes years ago and it just didn't work. And then
like same name and everything?
No, different name.
What was the name?
It was called Living Hope.
Okay.
It was a good try. But then my producer convinced me to go to dinner, and we just brainstormed for hours. They had to kick us out of the restaurant at the end. And by the time we left that dinner, it was more like, okay, I actually believe in this, and I think this would be a good idea.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how has it felt like diving in with everything you have and being like, okay, there is maybe some imposter syndrome. There is some learning curve.
Oh yeah.
But how's the beginning sort of felt? It's funny, like I remember how I felt when I started, but it was a long time ago, and I almost don't recognize that feeling anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, I feel vastly out of my comfort zone every single day.
Yeah.
But I was reading this. It was a commencement speech, and her name is escaping my mind, but she was one of the first employees at Oracle. And she calls it the rookie zone. And she basically articulates how we operate at our very best a lot of these times when we're in the rookie zone, because our resources are a lot more valuable to us. We are so uncomfortable that it causes us to like continually be brainstorming on, trying to be better. I mean, how many times have I asked you, Taylor, how did you do this? And what did you do about this? And so I've tried to adopt that mindset of like, it's a good thing that I have no idea what I'm doing, but yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. But what I will say is I think like the overall purpose of the podcast is, and I feel a recipient of it, is these people that I talk to every day. I'm like, man, this really helps me being 27.
Right.
And so, if nothing else, it's like, at least I'm learning a lot. And even if like one person feels like some sorts of camaraderie in it, then it's worth it to me.
Yeah. What is the main thing that causes some discomfort, causes you to feel outside of your comfort zone with it?
I think it is just what you said, like imposter syndrome. It's just like, who am I to do this? I mean, as every girl says these days, I'm literally just a girl. Right. And like, I think sometimes it can feel really scary starting something brand new from scratch.
Yeah.
And building is something is really hard. I think I've said that every single day since we started. Like, man, building something is really hard.
Yeah. What about it? I would love to hear what has been harder than you thought it would be and what's been kind of easier than you thought it would be.
Easier is probably the conversations on the actual podcast. Like, I feel like it's really easy because so many people have so many wonderful insights. Harder is social media. Social media and an online presence and creating content that is engaging and purposeful and makes an impact.
It's tricky business.
Is hard. Much harder than it is as a recipient. Like, it's hard. Yeah. So I also think it's hard being vulnerable. Like, once you start getting some growth and people start engaging with it, then sometimes when I'm recording, I feel a little scared because it's like, oh, people are actually going to see this.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So that can be scary.
Yeah, it's funny. Sometimes you're like, you really want a bigger audience, but it's like that comes with its own set of problems and issues and complications.
Yeah. And people have negative opinions about those things sometimes. And
well, here's what I always tell people. If any single video or episode or channel gets enough views, there's going to be people to find something that they don't like.
Yeah.
Like, any video that has millions of views has trolls on it.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's the sweetest, most lovely message in the whole world.
Yeah.
There's going to be people on there be like, well, her hair looks funny, or
always,
or she has an ugly tooth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
But, yeah, to me, that's a sign that you're doing something right.
I love that.
You know, if a video has 200 views, it probably has no negative comments.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
I was at the gym the other morning, and all the time I'll have like my headphones on and I forget to play music. Like, when I first start, so I'm just sitting there with empty headphones. Anyways,
very approachable. Sounds like.
Oh yeah, I don't see anyone at the gym. RBF, I've heard. So, but anyways, there were two people that I'm acquaintances with that were walking on the treadmill in front of me, and they knew I was there, but I think they thought I couldn't hear, whatever. Anyways, they were making some comments about me trying to build this podcast, and they weren't the most positive of remarks. And it was like, it sounds silly, but it was weirdly hard because I felt really exposed for trying to build something.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I was thinking like, man, if I had never tried to do this, they wouldn't have been saying anything negative about me.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't have tried. But then I think it's what you said, like anything worth building, trying to speak up and help people sometimes comes with negative things. But that made me sad.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah. It's funny. It's so much easier, I think, to make fun of the beginning stages of something.
Yes.
Because it's like, there's no real proof yet that it's working or that it's successful or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to be like, here's another girl that's starting a podcast.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And what does she have to say?
Yeah.
You know, but even if you looked the same and had the same exact studio and same guests, if all of a sudden you had 1 million followers, everyone would be like,
suddenly it's not stupid anymore.
Well, it can't be.
Yeah.
You're like, I might not like it, but it's not stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true.
Because it's obviously working.
Like, it's only cringy until it starts connecting with people, and it's only dumb until.
Yeah. And it's funny. I always say this about Taylor Swift, who I really care about. And I know you do too.
Her episodes came out today.
Her episodes.
Her new docuseries on Disney Plus.
I'm not a Disney Plus man.
Well, you're about to be.
I need to change and repent. But I say this about Taylor Swift. I'm like, you might think it's basic to like Taylor Swift, but I think it's just as basic to hate her.
I agree 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
And so to me, it might be basic to it might be basic to start a podcast. It might be basic to be like, I'm going to try to be an influencer. I'm going to try to be a creator. But it's just as basic to like poke fun at it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's also easier to poke fun at something
than to do it, than to try.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
What in your life at 27, what do you feel like is not what you thought it would be?
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the nitty gritty. What's so much not like you thought it would be that hurts?
Mm. I think it sounds a bit cliche, especially, being in Utah, but
We
I
welcome
think,
cliches
thank
on the
you.
show. Yeah.
I think dating and marriage and family
Hmm.
is always a huge one.
Yeah.
My family situation now, like even with my immediate family, looks nothing like I thought it would at 27. And I thought I would be in a different place with the family I was building at 27.
Hmm.
I think even like career wise, I realized the other day I've almost graduated high school 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like when people ask you, where's your life going to be in 10 years? You think, oh, so much is going to happen in 10 years.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm going to be that person that shows up to the high school reunion and it's like, my life is the exact same, which it's not, but it
Yeah, yeah.
feels that
Right,
way. Right. And so
Yeah. Where are your enormous accolades?
I don't know. Not here, evidently.
What at what age did it start to feel like, man, not being married, not having kids, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm not, I'm still young, but it's starting to become a little bit painful
Mm.
to really grapple with that reality, when I kind of always pictured that at this stage I would be having my second kid, having my third kid, really just having a family.
Yeah.
And it felt like that was not expected, but you just assumed that's where you would be.
Yeah.
When did that start becoming actually painful?
This maybe sounds like a titch bit early, but to each their own, I think. For me, it was 24
Mhm.
because my dad had just passed away, and my dad had always been, in my mind's eye, a really big part of that phase.
Yeah.
And so that felt like a really big disconnect there. I started thinking about it a lot more than realizing that he wouldn't be there
Right.
for like the walking down the aisle, the dance with your dad, when your first kids are born, like all him being absent from all of those things, I think kind of sparked this, like, I don't know, felt more painful.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened with your dad? How did he pass away?
He had cancer.
Mm.
Yeah.
Was that drawn out? Was it a long thing that was hard for a lot of years?
Yeah, he was diagnosed in January with stage 4 colorectal cancer. When they found it, it was in his liver and lungs.
January is in last January?
Oh, sorry, no, January 2022.
Okay. A few years ago.
21.
Okay.
January 2021. And he passed away in March of 2022.
Okay.
So it was about a year, a little over a year.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it like? I've lost most of my grandparents. I've lost, some friends along the way. But what's it like to lose a parent? That is so like
Yeah.
it's got to have your world has got to kind of crumble down a little bit.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really hard.
Yeah. What was for you the hardest part? Like, obviously the event itself is so painful and such an immediate loss, but as time has gone by, what has been the thing that's been like the biggest ache
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah. I think it's just how much you miss them. Like, I grew up with only brothers, and I've always felt this big, like I have a lot of protectors out there in my family, in my life. But my dad was just always the person. Dad, my car broke down. Dad, like, I remember one time I had no money in my checking account in college, and I couldn't get out of the parking lot because I couldn't pay the parking ticket. So I'm like, Dad, I need $5 to get out of this parking lot. Like he was just the person I always called. I have a voicemail from him on my phone, and it's just like, hey, Olivia, just was calling to say I love you and like see how your day was. Like we had that kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
relationship. And so it's funny. It's been like 4 years almost, 4 years in March since he passed. And it's weird how often I still will, oh, I need to tell my dad. Oh, like
Yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
and like another silly thing I miss is like, how in your like house, I could always tell who in my family was coming down the stairs from the way their steps sounded.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that. Like you
Right.
just miss them.
Yeah. What do obviously, especially with someone like a parent, you kind of grieve forever,
Yeah.
which I think is good and is
Mhm.
really beautiful.
Yeah.
But what's your advice for someone that is like in the pit of grief and really suffering and wondering like, how do I get past this initial period of pain? Like, yeah, what was that like for you?
Yeah, this isn't like fun advice. And I had lots of people give me this advice when I was in that period, and I did not listen at all. But I would say, like, just feel it. Don't try to get past it.
Yeah.
Don't try to be somewhere you're not, because I did a lot of like numbing techniques during that time, like jumping into a relationship, like just so many things that I did to try to like not feel that. And then 6 months later, when like other people in my life were, I would say, a bit more healed, a bit more at like peace with it, I crashed so hard.
Yeah.
And it was like way worse than
Right.
day 10.
Yeah. Wow. So it just bottled up.
Yeah. And it was like, if you would have asked me during that first 6 months if I was bottling it up, I would be like, no, I'm in therapy. And which I was, like, I was going to therapy and I was talking about it with friends, but I was so focused on being past like the grief that I wasn't feeling anything. And I got myself in a lot of sticky situations that made it harder, because then when I crashed like 6 months out, I was so isolated in that and I didn't know how to process the grief like on my own.
Yeah.
And it was not the funnest time.
Yeah. Sounds horrendous. So when you were going through that stage and you had those moments of like extreme sadness or whatever, what was your sort of go-to, like, I don't want to feel this. Let me get out of this. Did you sort of actively run away from like crying or remembering things or like talking with family members about it? Or
yeah, I like literally ran away from it. I started running like a psychopath.
Really?
Yeah. And I started like, I would work out and run for just so many hours a day. It was really unhealthy.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I think to an extent that was a really good outlet, but in moderation, probably.
Right. Yeah. It's hard to find when you're going through something really hard. It's so hard to find balance.
Yeah.
Even if you're going through a breakup that's not maybe devastating, but it's hard and it's causing pain. It's so hard to be like, well, let me just live a balanced life and let me attend to my hobbies and my friends and everything. It's so hard to be balanced.
I think you're so on par with that. I think it is one of the hardest human lessons to learn, at least it is for me, of feeling really turbulent emotions and still acting in beneficial, positive, somewhat just at least not self-hurting behaviors.
Yeah, even when you have all the tools.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're going to therapy. You probably understand a lot of what you need to be doing.
Yeah.
But
no, it's true. Like I went through a breakup just like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago now. And I remember being so frustrated with myself. Like, this is not that deep. It's not that hard, but being like so sad. And I would just listen to podcasts and go on walks every day. And I remember being so frustrated with the fact that it was hard. And I just I wasn't really feeling anything just because I was so frustrated that it was hard.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that frustration just exacerbated your pain?
Oh yeah, I think it prolongs it
right
as well. Like there's a certain healing and acceptance of the fact of like, this is hard and this is like, I'm hurting over this, but it won't be this way forever. But right now that's how I feel. And I don't have to fix that.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. I mean, the breakup that really just sort of removed my heart from my body and put it somewhere dark for a while, was like a very, very short relationship. And so like you, I felt really silly really almost embarrassed about how sad I was.
Yeah.
You know, because you're like, I should fully be over this. I shouldn't be. My world shouldn't be crumbling down because this person just decided not to be with me. But guess what?
It was.
World's crumbling.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Yeah. And why is it that some length of time merits crumbling or not? You know?
Yeah. I think it's so hard to not compare our situation with others and be like, you know, so-and-so just got broken up with and they got out of a 2-year relationship. So
yeah,
of course their life's fallen apart or they got divorced or whatever, but I shouldn't be in so much pain. Mine just lasted 2 months.
Yeah.
You know, but
what did you do to work through that?
Did I do anything? That's a tricky question. I think I definitely just felt it deeply and fully.
Good.
And that was a big catalyst in moving forward. I wasn't afraid to talk about it with friends, even though I knew it would probably make me cry, you know? And I remember one time I was at work and a buddy of mine was like, hey dude, like how's dating been going or whatever? And I was just like, and I just started crying like in a conference room.
Yeah.
And was just like, yeah, dude, me and this girl just broke up and it's the worst. I'm dying.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it made it so it wasn't bottled up at all.
Yeah.
Like I talked about it all the time.
Good.
And I'm sure I have some friends that were like, okay, dude, like it wasn't that deep. Like she probably didn't even like you that much. But I was just like, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to feel it. And I think something that really helped was even though she ended things, I wanted to make sure that my focus, my narrative wasn't that she was the problem or demonizing her, because it's so easy to just be like, well, yeah, she sucked.
Oh yeah.
You know, and she didn't see what she had and she was emotionally reckless with me.
Yeah.
Which she was, right? But I was like, I want to focus on the good things that she was, the beauty of our relationship, and just be sad because it's gone. And not try to make the narrative like, man, why did I waste time with her? And she shouldn't have done this and she was immature and what right did she have? I just want to be like, you know what? We weren't perfect, mostly because we were humans at the time.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. I've transcended.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, we made mistakes and we did the best we could and it didn't work out and I'm devastated, but me fixating on how she mistreated me or how she missed out on what a great guy I am, it's just not helpful.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. I think that we as a human race, me as a girl, could be better at that, because you think like at one point in time there was a version of me that really deeply cared about this person, and it almost feels not genuine or real to be like, well, they sucked. It's like, obviously I didn't think they sucked 2 months ago.
Also it's kind of dishonest.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of cases, okay, they suck, but if they called you right now, you'd probably get back
You'd
together.
pick up the phone. Oh, yeah.
You know?
It's like a classic example when you think about it of tearing someone else down to make you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a coping mechanism. You're hoping like the idea that she's just wonderful and perfect and beautiful and flawless is like, it's too painful to consider.
Yeah.
So it's easier to be like, she was actually not that great.
Yeah. She actually sucked. She X, Y, and Z, where it's just like, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And in a weird way, I think sometimes that's an easier narrative to tell the next person you're dating.
Yeah.
Instead of, no, she was amazing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because then it almost sounds like you're not over her or something like that. But I actually love when I meet girls and they tell me about exes and they say amazing things about them.
Oh yeah. It's a total green flag.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say the other thing I did that retarded my progression was I for a long time really, really was desperate for some clarity or closure. And even though when we broke up, we talked about it, we had a long, drawn out, sad final conversation, you still are left with questions.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And you still, I think it's almost impossible to break up, have perfect closure.
Oh, I don't think that's real.
To just seal it up real nice.
Yeah. I don't think, honestly, hot take, I don't think closure is a real thing.
That's where I was going. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
I think there are certain things that can bring you a little bit of closure, but ultimately, I think there's no amount of closure that's going to change the facts.
Yeah.
And the fact is, you're hurt.
Yes.
If
you're in a place where the breakup is not what you want, I don't think, exactly to your point, I don't think anything they say is suddenly going to be like, oh, perfect. I no longer want this.
Now I can sleep at night.
Now I can sleep and I'm so happy and it's totally fine.
Yeah. I think if anything, we do it in sort of this subconscious attempt to remain tethered to them.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we're searching for more closure and more clarity, we're thinking about them all the time.
Yeah, it's like that sadness keeping you tethered to them, even if it's just the idea of them, feels less devastating than having no tether.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love dating so much.
What do you do? What's advice for yourself that you probably wouldn't take for when you're freshly heartbroken and you're trying to move past it? And obviously what we just talked about, you want to feel everything.
Yeah.
But what's something really specific that you know for you personally helps you?
I will say that I have been proud of myself lately with this last breakup because I am queen of, like, I'm not really one to get in like too bad of situationships, but I will get in weird situationships post breakup with that person where it's just like
some backsliding.
Always.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I've had it go on for years after a breakup, multiple times. And so with this last breakup, I was like, I will not do that. I swear by no contact. It is like my new thing and it is so hard and not fun, but it is like truly become the thing that I like swear by. And I think what allowed me to do that was actually this idea that Jay Shetty said in one of his podcasts. He was talking about a lot of times when you go through a breakup, what's so devastating is this idea of the future that you created with that person, right? Like, well, we were going to move here. We were going to, start a family. We were going to get a dog or all of these things, right? And shifting that to being like, well, I still want to move here and I still want to get that dog. And just because this person doesn't fit that vision anymore doesn't mean that that vision no longer applies to me.
Yeah, I love that.
But yeah, after this breakup, I was like, no contact, 30 days. And then if I have to reach out after 30 days, I can reevaluate then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard.
Yeah. Did you reach out on day 31?
I didn't, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And day 30 to 60 was so much easier than day 1 to 30. Day 30, by day 30, I thought I was going to die.
Well, it's it's basically a detox period.
Oh yeah, it's like withdrawal for sure.
Yeah, it's an emotional withdrawal, and those, if you're going off hard drugs, those first few weeks are almost impossible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's so hard.
What is it? Is there a way to describe what is happening in your brain and in your heart when you are truly brokenhearted?
It's like someone just opened up your chest. It's like sledgehammer. I don't know.
It's violent.
For me, I think it's just like so empty. Like I feel really, really, empty when I go
Yeah.
through heartbreak.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's a little different for everyone.
Yeah, sure.
But
And sometimes your heartbreak, like it's been compounded over years. And
yeah.
so you're really sad about the breakup, but it's sending you down an emotional vortex because
Yeah.
you're not just grieving the breakup. Now you're grieving, well, now I'm single. Now I wasted all that time. And
Yeah.
when will I meet somebody new? And I guess I'm not good enough for anybody. And you can really spiral
Yes.
if you're not careful.
I think I had a weird spiral too because, like, I will admit it, all of my past relationships up until this last one, I was most of the problem. Like, I was.
In what way?
I just, like, wasn't ready to go. Like, I wasn't to go the distance.
Yeah.
I loved being in those relationships, but,
Mhm.
like, I think at the end of the day, I just thought, I don't know if this is it, but I stayed in it.
Mhm.
And then when it ended, I was like, maybe I wanted that to be it. Hence the forever.
Just didn't know what you wanted.
Yeah, I was heartbroken about other people. Like, I was like a toxic relationship person. Like, I would get out of one relationship, be heartbroken over it, and get into another one 2 months later.
Mhm.
And I did that like so many times
Oh,
over.
that's another type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Just kidding. Yes. But I think the point of that is that this last relationship was the first one I had ever entered where I was like, I'm ready and I am solid as me, as just like a person, and I could actually see this going somewhere. So then for that to end,
Yeah.
it felt like this weird sense of like rejection that way.
Yeah, it feels like a way bigger loss
Yeah.
because the stakes were higher for you.
Because I couldn't go back and justify and be like, well, I was the problem. It was just like,
Yeah.
just didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I felt like it could
Yeah.
have.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
What for you is when you are dating and you're looking at, now that you feel like you have more solid footing
Mhm.
and maybe you trust yourself more and you trust your gut more, what are things that are like, these are the things I need in a person that aren't silly and superficial. These are just my core. I got to have this and this and this and this, and I'm probably good.
Yeah. You know, for me, I think I was taking a little bit of, like, maybe this sounds cheesy, but like the magic and like the romanticism of dating out of it. Like, I think dating apps are great. I think they
Mhm.
work for a lot of people. They were not working for me. And
Right.
so I got rid of all of that. And I
Mhm.
just tried to be more open and aware of like my surroundings, people that I meet. And I think online is a huge way to meet people,
Sure.
like Instagram, other places. But so one, I try to be more open-minded, I think is what I try to do.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've nailed down what I'm looking for to like 3 or 4 main things. I think first, just for me personally, I am like a religious person and I want them to have some connection to God and
Right. Just spiritual alignment.
spiritual alignment for
Yeah.
sure. 2, they have to be like an inherently kind
Mhm.
person,
Yeah, yeah.
someone who wants to help other people,
Yeah.
someone who, isn't going to be mean to the waiter
Right.
at the table
Yeah.
and like actively looks to serve
Mhm.
people around them.
Yeah.
I think also 3, I have a hard time dating when I feel like ambition and like goals and drives is out of alignment.
Mhm.
I feel like everyone's attracted to different things. I feel like I can be really attracted to work ethic and like ambition and
Of course.
wanting to.
Every woman in the world.
Yeah, that's probably true. And then 4, you have to be attracted to them.
Sure. Absolutely.
My mom will say to me all the time, she's like, if you just, decided, I'm like, it doesn't work that way. And I would love if it did, but
No, I don't think that is fair. I
yeah.
don't think it's fair to you or to the person.
Yeah.
And I think you have to decide for yourself what attractive means
For sure.
and what level is actually important and what level is just whipped cream on top,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
we all would love to be with the hottest person possible,
Yeah.
right? According to our tastes and our predilections. But I think there's a certain level that's like, okay, this is attractive enough for me.
Yes.
This feels good. This is fun. I'm not trying to talk myself into it.
Yeah, exactly. That's, I think, the key for me. And I guess the point I was trying to make about dating apps, where it's like that list will probably not align with a lot of people out there. But for me, I think it's just about, like, I'm just glad I'm not divorced yet.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's like, who am I to be entitled to some, you know, magical relationship? It's like, all I can do is worry about me and just believe that as long as I am, like, becoming the version of myself that I want to be, that it's naturally going to align with someone that I can partner with.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that I got into this weird mindset of, man, I'm 25. Oh, now I'm 26. And I'm so deserving and entitled of this that I was sabotaging everything. And it's, I don't know, I'm just trying to have a more open mindset of it now, where it's like, if it comes along, then man, I'll be the luckiest person ever that it does.
Right.
But it's not that I deserve that and I'm wronged by not having that at this point in my life. Because, you know, you see those couples, and everyone, as I say that, everyone's going to have that couple that pops in their mind where it's just like, they're magic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Let me ask you a dirty question. Not dirty.
I'm excited.
A wily question. How many couples that you know do you feel like have that magic, that are like truly couples that you're like, man, they got it.
Yeah.
They've got something, and I might not even be attracted to their partner or whatever,
but they just have it.
But they just have it, and I would kill to have some version of what they have. Oh. Give me a ballpark.
A ballpark?
Number. Yeah.
Of all the couples I know, it's like gotta be less than 10.
100%.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think of like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couples our age too, you know, I feel like, yeah, even less. And that's what I'm saying, where it's like,
okay, so how do you, obviously there's things you can do before and during, but how do you manufacture that magic?
I don't know if you do. Like, I think,
or how do you sort of spark that magic and encourage that magic and fortify it?
I will say the couples in my life that I think of that way, I often will ask their stories, like, how did you meet? Because I'm so intrigued. And it's actually surprising to me how many of them will say, like, well, my partner was not what I was expecting at all. Like, whether that's attraction wise or lifestyle wise, like, so oftentimes I think these couples that just like magnetize to each other, they were both open-minded and just like receptive to each other's, I mean, energy feels like a chooky word, but just who they were, and they were open to it being different than what they looked like. Because I think so oftentimes we cross people off as fast as swiping on Hinge or a dating app because, oh, they're not exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And you don't even have a chance to get to know them.
Yeah. I think I've had girls not be interested in me or break up with me because I didn't have a strong desire to like live where they grew up.
Really?
Because that's where they want to like end up.
Yeah.
And it's a big
That's
deal.
weird.
And it's a big deal to them.
I mean, I shouldn't say weird, but see, it's stuff like that where it's like, because you didn't check that obscure out there box that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I can empathize and understand.
You're nicer than me.
We'll see. Jury's still out. But I can understand really wanting to live where you grew up or live in a specific part of the country. But yeah, there's a certain lack of openness there. If you're like, well, that's the only thing I'm willing to do.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you are a little bit myopic in certain senses, you do close yourself off to opportunities.
I agree. You know, and as you're saying that, it's like, well, I have those things.
Sure.
Maybe it's not my hometown, but I have weird.
What are some weird things that you're like, this isn't that important, but gosh, I love it?
Exposing me. Height. Height for me is huge.
But you're borderline tall.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's the best compliment you could have ever given me. I don't know if I like the word borderline in there, but yeah, height is hard.
Yeah.
And it just probably doesn't matter. But one of my magical couples that came to my head, she's taller than him.
Yeah, I guess you have to decide, is this something I can get over or
Yeah.
not?
Yeah. And I think if the answer is not,
That's okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I don't
Yeah.
know. You have to know your limits, I guess.
Yeah. Shout out to our short kings out there just suffering.
There's a lot of short girls out there that are really awesome.
I know. And they like tall guys too.
It's true.
What else? What else?
What else are my weird things?
What about like personality quirks?
Oh, man, this is sad. Like, it's hard when you're on like a first couple dates with someone and, oh, this is rude.
I'm not cutting anything.
No, maybe you should.
I'll just speak to me with words.
Let me think of something nicer. I think humor.
Mhm.
Like I'm a fairly sarcastic person, as
Mhm.
you know, and I think if like humor doesn't align for me, that's
Yeah.
maybe not as silly of a one, but music taste,
Mm.
I think. Oh, this is athletic ability.
Mm.
I can be annoying about that.
If they're unathletic.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things are starting to pile up.
See, it's like you can say it all you want, but then as you start saying it, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like,
Yeah.
it's not an easy practice to get icked by something or have something where you're like, I don't like that. And to
Mhm.
still be somewhat open.
Have you ever fully overcome an ick?
How deep is
Like-
the ick?
Like a pretty, like, you go home and you're fully icked out.
No.
You haven't overcome-
No. I have never overcome that. That would be nice.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I would love though? Like, genuinely, if I could sit down any man that I have icked out and like get that feedback. Because I'm sure that I have, it's like,
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone has, and it's just,
Yeah, it's hard because sometimes the things that ick people out, you're not going to change or you don't want to change,
I know. True.
because we all have such weird, peculiar
Yeah.
things that we like.
That's true.
And sometimes it's made worse by the more you've dated because your sample size is enormous.
Yeah. That's part of the issue too, I think,
Yeah.
as well. Dating, man. Could talk about it forever, I think, because it's so, I don't know, tricky.
Yeah.
But I don't think finding your life partner is easy business. So
I don't think it should be.
I agree.
I mean, sometimes you hit the lottery,
That'd be nice.
but most of us have to work hard for our money.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always tell people you can be frustrated with how hard it is, and you can say, well, maybe I should lower my standards or I should lower the
Yeah.
bar a little bit. But I always say, hey, if you've decided you are searching for diamonds, expect it to be hard.
Yeah.
Expect some resistance.
Yeah.
Expect it to be a challenge. If your goal is, man, I want to go out there and find some diamonds, like, to expect that they're just right under the soil
It's crazy.
is kind of crazy.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think if you try to actively lower your standards, settling never ends well.
Yeah. I think, here's my opinion on settling. I'd love to hear what you, if you agree with me.
Yeah, tell me.
I think, to me, sometimes people, their expectations are too high because they're delusional. They're not living on our planet fully.
Mm-hmm.
To me, you're not settling if you say, I want somebody my caliber
Oh, yeah.
that brings the similar things that I bring to the table,
Mm-hmm.
and I want someone in a similar space, or if better, even great.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're sort of operating at a 6 out of 10 in some area and you're expecting someone that's an 8 out of 10,
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's unrealistic.
Yep. Yep.
And so to me, if in whatever domains you're talking about, if you're kind of 8s across the board, you should go seek 8s across the board,
Yep.
But if one is a 7, don't freak out and decide that's a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You know, find someone that's in a similar realm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amen. I couldn't agree more. I think that anything you're looking for, you also have to expect the same from yourself.
Yeah.
I have to be that kind of person too.
Yeah.
If I want someone who can, you know, is a really good texter, which we know that I am.
Sure.
Worst texter ever, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
if you want someone who's a good communicator, you also have to be a good communicator.
Yeah. Do you want a good texter?
I mean, I can't ask for that because I'm not one.
Or do you just not really care? Like if you're dating a guy and he's a bad texter, are you just like, we won't text much? Or would you appreciate a guy that's a really good texter and you'll be like, okay, I got to up my game?
I think that one actually. I mean, it doesn't have to be like crazy, but I think that, yeah, it's like fun to text your person throughout the
Sure.
day. What are you doing?
Yeah,
You know, things like that.
100%.
So I'm going to have to up my game. In conclusion, yes, I will have to be a better texter.
Sure. What's been your relationship with depression over the years? I feel like it's such a spectrum, you know. We all have depressive moments and depressive maybe episodes. Some people struggle with it more clinically. What has that been a struggle for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weirdly, like, I know we talk about it so much more than we used to, which is amazing. I don't know why it
still feels kind of bad to say.
Yeah, like my therapist will always tell me that I have this like inner coach in me who just like yells at me a lot, and I think that comes from my soccer days. But when I struggle with things like that, I'm really bad at like sitting with emotions and just being like, I mean, I think I've said this already, like, this sucks and it's okay that it sucks. I don't have to fix it. And so when I hit that kind of 6-month mark after my dad passed, definitely. I remember, like, it was so weird. I woke up just another day and I was going into work and I like could not really put words to what I was feeling, but it felt like I woke up with this huge, like, dark pit on my chest. Like, it was that physical and it was very new. Like, I hadn't felt that way. And then I just thought as the day would go on that it would go away.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and it got worse. And I remember my childhood, like, best friend, it had been a few weeks of me feeling this way. And she was sitting on my couch and she like grabbed my face in both of her hands and was like, Liv, snap out of it. Because I had always been someone who could just snap out of it.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at her and just being like, I can't.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. And it like brought me to my knees for sure. Not even to my knees. It brought me 6 feet under, I think. And thank goodness for like modern medicine and lots of other people that loved me. And but I think that even just as of recent, I have kind of felt it creep back in, and it's just trying to be friends with it rather than how quickly can I push you out of the room.
Yeah. Was it scary when you like, it sounds like you could almost pinpoint to the day it started.
Oh, I could tell. Yeah. The very morning.
Was that really scary? Were you like, am I dying?
I remember thinking I was like something like, I feel very ominous, like something really bad is about to happen. Yeah. It was scary, especially because it was very foreign to me. Very foreign to me. And also had no rhyme or reason. Yeah. Like, one could have argued like, well, why didn't you feel this way day one after your dad dying? Why is this 6 months later? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know, I talked to a buddy of mine that his mom passed away when he was a teenager, and he said things actually got harder about 6 months after she passed, because he said that's when, you know, the texts stopped coming in. Yeah. People checking up on you kind of stopped or slowed down significantly. Everyone kind of goes back to their life, and sort of this, you know, the immediate attention from what happened, from the death, kind of starts to fade. Yeah. And then, you know, your feelings really start to settle and it becomes more real. I think that initial period, it's surreal. Yeah. And you're like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm alive. I don't know anything. And then it kind of settles and it becomes your reality.
Yeah, and you're like, your life, your world is spinning, but mine isn't. And how does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really helpful, your story, because I think um, it's helpful to know that these things you can be kind of happy your whole life and things can be going well, and then it can just come like a thief in the night,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But to know that that's okay,
For sure.
and it doesn't need to overtake you.
Yeah.
But what was, obviously, you said you got a therapist and you maybe got on some medication and stuff, but
Mhm.
was there something or someone that really sort of jolted you out of it enough to go seek help?
Mm. My mom has worked in mental health like my whole life, and she was a really big advocate of medication and just helping to kind of get out of that pit. So I definitely owe a lot of that to her because I had no conception of what medication would do. And I was one of those classic examples of like, that is so awesome for everybody else. I have no judgment for anyone else,
Right.
but me,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm too
And
strong.
exactly, I'm too
Yeah.
strong, I'm too tough.
Yeah.
I can deal with this. And so I think when I got on it, I had no really perception of what that was going to do. I'm like, is this going to change me around instantaneously? Whatever. And it just gave me enough of like a boost that then it felt manageable. It
Mhm.
felt, yeah. But even after that, I think that I had that same mentality of like, okay, well, I beat that. I did that. I checked the
Uh-huh.
depression box
Yeah.
off. It will never come
Sweet. We
back.
did depression.
We did that in 2020 or whatever that was. And so then having aspects of that creep back in, it
Mhm.
felt like a really big loss. Like it felt,
Yeah. You're like, I thought I already
I
beat
thought I
this.
did this.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've learned, that I'm a very like visual person, and typically visual people who struggle with depression, I don't know if you relate to this at all, you envision it in some type of way. Like some people envision like a forest, or some people envision like, for me, it's a storm. Like for me, it's
Mhm.
always been like a really dark storm, really big waves, and then turning into like a dawn and a sunrise.
Mhm.
But what's really interesting about that is it's like typically what people imagine. It's not like an endlessly dark universe that has no chance of light. Like there are always dark things that they either turn into light, or there's opportunities for light to come in them.
Yeah.
And I think even that idea alone was enough for me to like hang on to of, you know, I've lived through some bad, like literal weather storms in my
Mhm.
life, and
Yeah.
they didn't last 27 years.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
always end,
Right. Yeah.
But yeah. Have you ever struggled with?
With the darkness.
Yeah.
It's funny. One of my favorite authors, he wrote a short story about depression, and he called it whatever the character's name was, I forget, and the bad thing. So he
Oh,
called depression
uh-huh.
the bad thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I view it. It's maybe a little bit more nebulous. Just, I don't know. It's a bad thing out there. It's a bad
Mhm.
thing in my brain. It's a bad thing that's consuming me right now.
Yeah.
I would say, luckily, mine has been very circumstantial.
Mm.
When you're going through some heartbreak, or you're going through a period of your life that feels especially rudderless or hopeless, I've had some of the bad thing creep in. And then another thing I love, this is my favorite author. I actually showed you the beginning of his book,
Mm.
of one of his books. I read you a
Oh,
piece.
yeah.
But he said, he was talking about, again, it was fiction, but he was saying, I've experienced depression before. I've had really deep sadness, but he goes, but this time, whatever it was had teeth.
Mm.
And to me, that visual was so intense, thinking like, okay, I've experienced this dark force before, but this
Mhm.
time it's alive, and this time it's
Mm.
just trying to get me.
Mhm.
And yeah, luckily, I think I've always had people around me that don't let me get too far down the pit.
Good.
And I think a big part for me is there's a lot of a lot of different things in my life that bring me purpose and meaning. And so even though when you're going through a depressive state, it's harder to feel joy, and it's harder to see the vibrancy of colors. But if there's still a lot of things that bring you joy, even if the joy is greatly mitigated, I know I can still feel some.
Yeah.
I know I can still get a parcel of it. And to me, that's a signal of hope.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I might be in the middle of the storm. I love that analogy. There might be lightning all around me. It might be really scary, but I can see on the horizon something that brings me joy.
Yeah.
And it might be really far away, but I can see it, and I can head towards it at least.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think purpose too. You mentioned that, like, it helps a lot getting through that. Like, I have this purpose to do every day, or, this week, and I have to do that. That brings me joy.
Yeah.
Brings me some sort of, this is why I'm here. This is what I'm doing. And that, I think, the bad thing, even though it has teeth, like that, having purpose fights pretty actively against the bad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. What are some of the things that for you really bring purpose into your life, and you can rely on when you're like, I might not be happy per se. The bad thing might be creeping in a little bit, but I know where I can find some purpose and find some meaning.
I think religion is a huge one for me. I think also that I think it's why I tried to start this podcast. I'm a huge believer in community, and like, so often when I'm going through something hard, I think of someone that's been able to sit with me through something hard. And it's like, if I can do that for someone, down the road, I don't know how much help I'd be in that moment, being in it, but sometimes it's just really helpful to be able to look someone in the eyes who's able to say, I've been there and I'm not there anymore. Like, I made it through that. And so I think being able to even have that in my mind's eye of like, I started there, but now I made it out, and you can provide that to someone else.
Yeah.
I think is a powerful idea.
Yeah.
I think. And also, I think family and loved ones, they bring a lot of purpose and connection of just being able to show up for them, and they take care of you and you take care of them.
Yeah.
Just that, this whole idea, I think, as well, of this sucks and this is really hard, but it's making me a better person.
Yeah.
And that makes it worth it.
Yeah, totally.
I think.
What for you is, what do you think the purpose of joy is?
It's a really good question that I don't know if I have an answer for.
You do.
The purpose of joy. I think that joy brings a lot of learning, and like, joy makes it all worth it. And sometimes I feel like the harder the deeper the storm, the more brilliance, like, of the sunrise, which is such a cheesy analogy, but it's like you have a deeper capacity to hold it. And it's like when you go through all those hard, dark times, it's the idea of joy, the idea that you can get there, or even if it's like the one little thing that makes you smile against your will that day. Like, joy has teeth, I would also argue. Like, it's a sticky thing. Like, it's gonna fight its way through even when you don't think you're capable of it. I don't know if that answered your question.
100%. And I think what joy looks like, the definition of it can change when you're in a really bad spot, because all of a sudden you're like, I don't need to go to a theme park. I just need to be able to get out of bed. I just need to be able to enjoy a piece of fruit. And I need to be able to sit on my couch without thinking dark things. And that brings me joy, right? But sometimes when life is pretty smooth and pretty peachy, you're like, man, I need a vacation. I need something really fun to feel joy. But I think it's really special and beautiful when you can say, a day might bring a whole like bevy of problems and catastrophes and stressors, but there is also infinite chances to feel joy and infinite possibilities of little moments that can elicit joy. And so it doesn't need to be a big thing. It doesn't even need to be fun.
Yeah.
You know, I think sometimes joy and fun are so synonymous, but I think you can find joy in just being alive and just being grateful.
Yeah, just in the mundane.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that concept that
Yeah.
it's like almost when it's harder and darker that the joy, I guess, comes easier
Yeah.
or it's simpler,
Right.
I guess.
Well, and here's the thing about joy that is so mercurial is that you do have days where it's a lot of joy stacked on top of each other day after day, and you can pinpoint this and pinpoint that. But then sometimes you have these long spans where you're like, I'm not feeling anything joyous.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time feeling it, especially if you're feeling depressed, right? You're like, dang it, these things used to bring me joy, but now everything's a little faded. Everything is a little more gray. But the beautiful thing is, after that grayness subsides and the colors start to burst through, like you said, the joy all of a sudden feels way more meaningful.
Yeah.
And you're way more grateful for it. And so to me, it's a really cool thing to not have any expectations on joy.
Yeah.
But to just say, man, it's going to come and it's going to go and it's going to surprise me. But when it does come, especially a joy that really can be absorbed and can really sink in, I gotta drop to my knees and just be grateful.
Yeah.
And anything else, is just part of life.
Have you ever had moments where you're like, I know that I could choose this and it would probably bring me joy, but I'm just going to choose this like sad thing anyways?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. For me, I feel like that comes out with songs. Like when I'm sad, I just listen to sad songs where it's like, if you're feeling sad and you turn on like those couple songs that just always get you going, the joy that you can feel even just from that. And I think that's been really interesting for me to learn over the last couple years, where it's like sometimes it's an active choice.
Well, and I think joy can exist inside of sadness.
Yeah.
And
totally.
so I think partly if I'm going through a whirlwind of a breakup or heartbreak or any sort of emotional pain, I like to listen to sad songs.
Same.
I like to watch sad movies because it makes me feel less alone.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel like, oh, they're describing a really specific emotion that I don't hear people talking about a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel that.
And I get that, and I'm there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm totally here for it.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to pick the sad songs.
And I think sometimes it's part of just feeling it and not escaping your feelings. And maybe you don't want to have the song on repeat all day and just lay in bed.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes you're like, I have a choice. I can sort of escape this feeling and whatever, turn on a fun podcast, turn on a fun upbeat playlist, where I can feel this emotion that's knocking on my door. And then it doesn't have to creep up again later. I don't know.
Yeah. And it's okay. Exactly. That I think is probably the greatest lesson that I'm trying to learn and relearn over and over again is that just feel it when it comes knocking. So it doesn't have to come pounding on your door.
Oh, she pounds.
Oh, she pounds.
Yeah. And she can go pound sand as far as I'm concerned.
True. Amen.
In the midst of a lot of these things you've gone through, the death of your father, some breakups, some disappointment, some depressive periods. What has been your relationship with God in those really in the darkest hours? Has that when it's waned, or has that been where you've felt closest to him?
Probably both, depending on the season. Right before my dad got sick, I was in like a 4-year relationship. It was really on and off for 4 years.
That's so long.
So long.
Olivia, that's so long.
No, I know.
You don't know.
Context. I was in college. We were also long distance. There was a lot of pieces to it.
Okay.
So long. I also was like 17, 18 when it started. So it's a tiny baby.
Yeah.
But yes, so long.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I remember there were a lot. We could just do a whole nother 5-hour episode on that podcast or on that relationship. But when that relationship ended, I remember being like so isolated, and I was sitting on my bathroom floor in my little college house, and I remember saying out loud, like, okay, God, like, it is just you and me. And I hadn't been probably, the most devout person out there, not even close.
Sure.
And I think that was really helpful to have that a little more solid going into my dad, because I would say that, the loss of my dad, one of the hardest things I've been through, one of the closest times I felt to God, maybe a little more recently, also been a really hard time. And I felt like God is very quiet in this season. So just depends.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea that, your relationship with God it's not a fixed thing. It's not a really one-dimensional definition.
Oh yeah.
It's an evolving thing. And the cool thing to remember, if you believe this, which we do, is that it's always and already perfect on one side of the relationship.
Yeah.
On God's side. And so we don't have to worry about that side.
Yeah.
It's all on us to come closer to him.
Yep. Yeah. And that's a good perspective, I think, to keep, because I've also learned that God can handle like you being mad at him. Like there have been times recently where I have been very fed up,
Yeah.
And I had a close friend say to me earlier this year that they felt like they were making God into like a Santa Claus, and that if he wasn't, blessing them with all of these things, that then they felt abandoned by him. And I remember them saying that and me being like, why are you making God into a Santa Claus? That's so that's silly, But then I'm like, no, I do the exact same thing, where it's like sometimes these things that you're praying for and you're praying for so hard and you just yearn for, be that marriage, be that a job, whatever it is, right? And you feel like that goes unanswered. Your brain can like fill in the gaps of, well, he must not care. Well, he must not. But to your point, a relationship is not that one dimensional. There's so many parts. And just because that one part is maybe a not yet or a, different thing, it doesn't negate the whole relationship down to that one tiny thing.
Yeah. I like that.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I've gone back and forth myself, but I think, I don't know. I just feel like God has my back.
Good. Yeah.
I just feel like he never promised that life is going to be great and easy and fair.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we harp on something doesn't feel fair. I'm not sure where in canonized scripture it says that, also things are going to be super fair on earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I think when I was younger though, I got a little bit more bothered by a lack of fairness.
Yeah.
Not just for myself, but just for humanity,
the world,
even. Yeah. But, I don't think fairness is really part of the plan.
I agree. I think putting your faith in fairness, putting your faith in outcomes is where it gets sticky.
Yeah.
But I remember when my dad got diagnosed, my dad was a man of incredible faith. And the way that he talked about, he was, prayer and all this stuff, I was like, oh, we got this. Like he is going to pray this cancer away overnight. It's going to be fine. And I remember one time dropping him off for chemo, and they make like their chemo friends because they're all there all the time. And one of my dad's friends was walking out of the building when my dad was walking in, and my dad was like, oh, where are you going? Because they normally did it together. And he said to my dad, he's like, oh, I can't do it today. I'm too sick today. Like they won't let me do it. And that's really devastating for cancer patients when they're too sick to get the treatment that's going to help. And
Yeah.
I remember my dad coming home that day and just so heartbroken for his friend that he couldn't get treatment that day. And my dad saying, "Oh, I hope I never get to that point." And I remember thinking, "Oh, you won't. You won't because your faith is that strong. You won't because our family's faith is that strong." And then it wasn't very long after that that my dad was the one walking out of that appointment too sick to do treatment. And I remember I got so mad. Like I was so mad as it went on, where I remember saying to God, like, what more are you asking for? Like, what more? What better prayers could we say? How much more righteous could we be? Like, I remember just racking my brain for every human control solution I could offer. Like, what lesson do I need to learn? What scriptures do I need to read? And I remember talking to my dad about it one time, opening up to him a little bit about it. And my dad was so unbothered by the outcome.
Yeah.
And that bugged me.
Right.
Because I was like, hello, but my dad had so much faith that it was like the outcome, it didn't even matter to him at the end because he just knew that God had his back. And I was like, well, can you share some of that? Because I'm a little heated over here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's so important to have people like that in your life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there were periods in your dad's life that he wasn't that strong.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But that's really cool. Okay, I have an interesting question. You know how people always ask, like, what's advice you would give a younger you? I'm curious, what do you think Olivia from the future would say to you now?
It's weird because I've actually thought about this a lot recently.
Good.
Yeah. I feel like what I think spurred it is that trend that people have going around on social media right now where they're hugging like a younger version of them. And I think that Olivia from the future, if she could talk to me now, I think that the first thing that she would do is probably give me like a really big hug. And I think she would just tell me to keep going and that it's going to be okay. Yeah. And I think that makes me emotional. Sorry, because it doesn't really feel like that all the time right now. And so I think the idea that there's an Olivia out there in 5-10 years that her strongest piece of advice would just be to keep going. Yeah. Makes me want to keep going. Yeah.
And she, who could you trust more than that version of yourself?
Exactly.
Yeah. And she's so far past whatever difficult stage you're in right now that she can see so much more clearly, and she can see that you're going to be fine, sweetie. Yeah. Can you chill out?
You and can you? Yeah. And she's someone I want to be. Yeah. And so she's someone I want to make proud.
That's a cool thought.
What would older Taylor say?
I'd say, man, you're freaking balling, dude.
Heck yeah.
No.
Olivia would follow up with that.
Right. Yeah, I think it would be a similar thing. It would be like, dude, like you can relax because we have an amazing life. Like we're really, really happy. And you can be proud of yourself right now. Yeah. And you can be proud of yourself from 5 years ago. And you're going to be proud in a couple of years. And you can continue to be hard on yourself, but you don't need to because I got us. I know God has our back, but I got you, dude.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Yeah. That idea. And it's very empowering where it's like, okay, I don't have to rely on anything else but me because we've got us. Yeah. Bring some control back.
Right.
Which I'm a control freak evidently, but
evidently you've recently learned.
Yeah. Of my own life, I think.
Of course. Okay, to wrap things up, I want to know if there's anything you want to ask me. You're a podcaster, you're a host. if you had a couple questions, what would you ask me?
I have so many things I actually would love to ask you.
And-
yeah, you're
and-
being hijacked onto my podcast next.
Let's do it.
Okay, perfect.
And ask as many as you want. Hijack away.
I'm curious. You talk a lot on your podcast about family
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. Why do you think, do you even think there is a purpose in us having to wait and it being delayed? Like, what do you think if maybe it's something you can't put a bow on?
Yeah.
But where it's like, this is why.
I think it's a terrific question. I think there are I think the mistake is to say there is one single purpose and let me try and figure it out. It's almost like the closure question. Let me try and find some closure on this, right?
Yeah.
It's more like, I ultimately think there are thousands of reasons and thousands of purposes for me being single at this lovely protracted age of mine, right? And some of them I can pinpoint and say, you know what? If I'd gotten married at 25, I wouldn't have met one of my best friends, right? Had I gotten married at 23, I probably wouldn't have started a podcast. Had I got married at 31, I wouldn't have gone on this trip. I wouldn't have met this person that helped me meet this person that helped me help this person. And if I really sat down and maybe wrote it out or really thought about it for days on end, I could probably come up with 40 reasons, right? But I think there are innumerable reasons. And I think I don't need to know all of them.
Yeah.
And I think when I do get married and I do have a family, some of those will be made manifest and will be shown to me. And I'll be like, oh, gosh, darn it. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
But here's one really easy example I think about a lot. I think when I meet my wife, and maybe not the second I meet her, but when we fall in love and decide we want to get married and everything, I think it'll become really clear to me why all my past relationships didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll be like,
thank goodness.
Thank goodness. And there's a million reasons why those didn't work out maybe, but the ultimate reason, the only reason that matters is because had they worked out with them, I wouldn't have met this person.
Mm-hmm.
And so bingo, bango, bongo, that's the biggest reason.
Yeah.
I think apart from that, a big one that I think about, and to me it helps me feel some purpose, is I think not having a family this long or not being single this long, whatever, part of it, I feel like I'm able to handle, even though there's definitely been lots of moments and lots of years where I felt like I could barely handle it.
Yeah.
But I think I can handle it, and I can help others understand what that weight feels like, and that it doesn't need to be the end of the world. It doesn't need to be all consuming.
Wow.
It can be a part of you that is really sad and something that you're actively grieving, but it doesn't need to be the collapse of your whole universe.
So beautiful. Yeah.
And I think, I think I'm going through this so others can go through it a little bit easier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think that's perfect. You made me think of a follow-up question though.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in at you, you are very
Tall.
Yes. No, but very very put together. And it seems like you have, if that were to walk into your life tomorrow, that you'd be very ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like with all of this love that you have to give and all of this readiness, quote unquote, right? What do you do with that right now?
Oh man, I think you to me it's all the same. It's all the same element, right? It's love, right? So sure, it's a yearning for really specific, like romantic love, but it's love. So I can give that love to my friends. I can give that love to my nieces and my nephews, and I can.
That's the best place to give it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And, with love comes what? Comes attention, and comes care, and comes, a certain reverence for. And so I can spread that all over the place.
Yeah.
I can, and so it doesn't need to stay bottled up and just be saved in a jar for when I meet the right person.
Yeah.
To me, it's like, I've got a lot of love to give. I'm going to give it to my friends. I'm going to give it to my mom. I'm going to give it to my grandma. I'm going to give it. Everyone gets it, and
the world's better for it.
Yeah. I just think it's all the same thing. It's the same element. And so I don't need to save it. I don't need to worry that it's going to run out.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we have a, what's it called? We have a scarcity mindset with love.
Mm.
We feel like I've only got a finite amount, and if I wait too long, or if my heart is broken too many times, it'll run out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest lie I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from an eternal source. Why would it ever run out?
I love that. I think that's one of maybe, if not the most beautiful thing you take from heartbreak, is that you can get your heart broken again and again and fall in love.
Yeah.
Again and again. Like the human heart is resilient.
Yeah. You know what song I'm obsessed with? It's so like trendy on social media right now.
What?
It's the, I think it's Billie Eilish and maybe some other people in it, but it's the, fall in love again and again and fall in love again.
Yes, not Billie Eilish, but yes.
Okay, who is it?
I don't know.
It's Charlie something. Anyway.
Yes, but yes, it's true.
Yeah, and it's such a simple, obviously it's a beautiful music and everything, but I just love this idea of you can fall in love again and again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I think the more your heart gets broken, if you allow it, it just makes your heart bigger.
Yeah. Have you ever read the book, You Only Love 3 People?
No, but that's about the right number, I would say.
It's like, I know, I'm like contested theory, but I love it. It says like your first one's like your first love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your second one is like your biggest heartbreak. And then your third one is like your partner, right? And maybe you have more partners than that, but I loved that idea because, it doesn't apply to everyone, but it's like so often you go through other loves so you are capable of holding like that last one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my first quote unquote love that who knows what I even understood of love at the time.
Yeah.
Had we ended up together, listen, I would have loved the hell out of her. I really would have.
Yeah.
But my comprehension of love was way smaller.
Oh, yeah.
Back then.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there would have been parts of me that would have sort of coasted through and been more open to settling on mediocrity when it came to the relationship and to love itself. And now I have no tolerance for anything besides enormous love.
Yes, because your understanding of it grows, your experience with it grows, your standards with it grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if I know it's like you think about your first love and like, that taught me a lot, but it was definitely a first love.
Yeah, it was just cute.
And it was supposed to stay as a first love.
Right.
Yeah.
And listen, some people, they marry their first loves.
And it's amazing.
And it can be.
Yeah.
I always say there's huge pros and huge cons to getting married young and to getting married older.
I agree. Me and my friends talk about this all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. And I think it's really easy to look at the other side and be like, oh, if I just got married earlier. Oh, if I had kids earlier. If I had kids later. If I'd gotten married later. Then X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes. I had another question in my head for you. I may have lost it. Oh,
Find
favorite.
it.
Huh?
I said find it.
Oh, I thought you were going to count down. 5, 4.
Yeah.
I feel like you should share. I mean, I know this, but favorite book.
Favorite book. I've talked about this before. I think probably my favorite author is David Foster Wallace. He writes fiction and nonfiction. So I just love all of his stuff. It's so good. Favorite novel by him is probably Infinite Jest or The Pale King. But I also try to not be overly obsessed with definitively saying something is my favorite.
Okay.
Because I want room for new favorites.
That's cool.
You know?
I like that.
So I'm more comfortable saying this is one of my all-time favorites and probably always will be.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think when you cement something as your number one favorite of all time, it doesn't give anyone a chance to come in and beat it.
I like that.
You know?
Yeah. Well, going back to what you said before, I think that, like you said, we met years and years ago, but didn't really reconnect until recently. And I think that everything you were saying about you're going through this to make it easier for other people, at least a little bit easier. I've absolutely been a recipient of what you do. I remember coming across your podcast, seeing some clips on social media, and it being one of the very first things where I was like, man, someone gets it. Even if I met that guy years ago, he gets it.
Yeah.
So thanks
Yeah.
for being someone who made it a tiny bit easier for me.
Right. Yeah, there's something about feeling just a 0.5% less alone in your suffering.
Yeah.
That is really comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about seeing other people in it, make it out of it. Like this is a weird example, I think of like the 9/11 buildings and the beautiful monument and museum we have now. Obviously one of the most devastating things. But if you were to see that the day after, it'd be like, no way this ever gets cleaned up.
Yeah.
No way this ever is a walkable street ever again. No way people ever heal from this.
Right.
And now you look at it now, not that much later.
Yeah.
It's like proof.
Yeah.
That time changes and heals. And
yeah.
You're
a terrific human.
You're a terrific human.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. How does it feel to be a guest on a podcast?
I like it better, I think. It's a little less pressure, but you do a really great job.
Oh, thanks.
It's really easy to talk to you. And honestly, I've been like from my podcast host seat, like noting things that you do, and I've learned a lot. So thank you.
What did you note? What's a note?
I really like actually how you told me nothing coming into this. Like there was no
prep.
No prep.
Yeah.
Zero semblance of what we were going to talk about. And very just conversational, which I try to do, but I think that I have it a little more mapped out, and I'm like, I need to throw the map out the window. Like I like the authenticity of it.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a little bit of a map in your head.
Yeah.
Especially I think sometimes you have guests that are a little harder.
Yeah. How hard of a guest was I? Be brutal.
No, you were great.
Well, you can be honest.
Well, I am.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Yeah, you were. I mean, there's always a certain ease when you already know somebody.
That's true.
There's no temptation to do small talk.
Yeah.
Which I don't really do. Even if somebody is a stranger I'm just meeting on the podcast, I don't do any small talk.
That's cool.
But yeah, with somebody you already know, there's a little bit of rhythm already.
Why don't you do any small talk?
I don't think my viewers care.
Yeah. True.
Where you're from, like certain things. If we're talking about your career and stuff, okay, yeah. How did you start or whatever? But to me, if I'm not actually interested, I'm not going to ask you, because if I don't care, my fans certainly don't care.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. No, but it's been very, very insightful. I really love what you do. So thanks for having me.
Okay. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. All right.